We all know the old mantra, fake it till you make it, right? Well, Lil Mabu flipped the script to fake it until you crash and burn. The kid is in freefall right now, latching onto any train wreck he can find just to claw back a scrap of relevance. It is honestly sad to watch. How does a self-proclaimed whiz kid with 8 million monthly listeners on Spotify rule the world 1 second only for the internet to completely ghost him the next? The real question is, has he hit a dead end, or is he about to vanish into the abyss? Welcome back, I'm Internet Anarchy, and today, we are dissecting the implosion of rap's biggest glitch, Lil Mabu. We are breaking down how he turned rage bait into a career to infiltrate the drill scene. We are digging into the fan obsession and pinpointing the exact second the mask slipped. Calling Mabu government name Matthew Peter DeLuca a tourist in the trenches of New York drill doesn't even begin to cover it. It wasn't just his look that screamed out of place, it was his background. We are talking about a prep schooler raised in a multi-million-dollar penthouse in one of the city's most elite neighborhoods, rocking a uniform at the ultra-exclusive Collegiate High. Mabu's reality was a different universe compared to the drill origin story. While actual artists were bleeding their pain and survival tactics onto the track, Matthew DeLuca was doing times this asterisk. I'm a 9th grader at Collegiate. I love the Kids Walk for MSK because it unites my community for a good cause. Seriously, how does a model student go from honor roll to whatever this is? Here's the thing. He didn't debut as a thug. Rewind to 2020. When he launched his YouTube career, Mabu wasn't fronting. He was dropping melodic, auto-tuned heavy tracks. Zero aggression. The energy was totally flipped. That initial wave didn't break the internet, but he found his lane. He actually had legitimate supporters. One early comment said, "Mabu, you're speaking to my soul. Don't forget us when you're famous in 5 years." Another viewer actually begged him, "Please stay off the drugs and don't turn into a criminal. Don't let the cash corrupt you. It is a hard life when you feel forced to play the tough guy just to blow up." Mabu never struggled a day in his life, but he sure loved cosplaying the struggle. By 2021, the innocent act was dead. He did a full 180, releasing tracks like Move It and Demon Time. Suddenly, the prep schooler was trying to bust into the dangerous, high-stakes arena of drill rap. "Yo, this is real life! We out here! Cross me and you'll regret it. I'm packing. Test me. Finger on the trigger, squad always with me. Quit the chatter. We circling in the G5. That switch to aggression was his winning lottery ticket. It pushed his first video past the 2 million mark. It wasn't the bars, it was the circus act. A pasty kid in the heart of the New York slums was pure clickbait. Despite being a total anomaly, Mabu had real traction. He could have cultivated a loyal following. Instead, his marketing tactics would eventually become toxic. In 2022, he went full Hollywood method. He dove headfirst into the gangster role for his Double M's mixtape, buying verses from certified street legends like Dusty Locane, then dropped the visual that shifted the landscape. He wasn't just wearing the costume anymore. He was glorifying brutal street warfare in a way that felt strategic and inflammatory. Controversy cashes checks. That clip hit over 30 million views and glued Mabu to the #1 trending spot on YouTube. That is when it clicked for him. Anger generates clicks. He went all in. Over the following months, he spammed the timeline with skits, branding himself as the city's most volatile, dangerous lyricist. "Why you slipping, bro? What you mean? You know where you at? I stay strapped. We active right now. Yo, what happened? Oh, he is done." While some kids devoured the cartoon character act, the streets weren't having it. The roast was vicious. One comment nailed it. "I can't stand Lil Mabu. It is impossible to take him seriously. This is a wealthy private school kid talking about drive-bys." Others called it straight-up Fed energy, accusing him of wearing hip-hop culture like a Halloween costume. He was called out for parodying the genuine bloodshed and poverty that created drill. He spits bars about ops and gunplay, then punches out and retreats to his parents' mansion, completely safe. It is a twisted irony. Kids are actually dying in these streets, killing each other over turf owned by rich landlords, guys exactly like Mabu's dad. The culture vulture accusations were bad enough, but then came the industry plant allegations. People suspected his viral explosion was bought and paid for by deep family pockets. Like him or loathe him, the kid knew how to game the system. Mabu wasn't new to the hate train. He fired back, insisting he is a marketing savant, not a plant, and swearing he never signed a dotted line. He stated, quote, "I am a digital marketer with no manager. I handle campaigns for major artists, so I just applied that blueprint to my own career." He swears he isn't some trust fund baby torching his father's money. He claims he started his own agency back in April and has been bankrolling his rap dreams since 2022. And let's be real, it worked. His guerrilla marketing shoved his music into the faces of a massive global crowd. We are talking sitting at number 90 on the Hot 100 and racking up a staggering 100 million views on YouTube. Suddenly, everyone was looking at this guy like he was the second coming of drill music. It is absolutely wild to think he was smashing these milestones right at the exact moment he was supposed to be. Strutting across the stage, snatching up his high school diploma. That is the double life of Matthew Peter DeLuca. But hold up, right in the middle of all this chaotic growth, the kid completely ghosted the rap game for 2 months. When he finally resurfaced, he dropped a message that sounded way more like a therapy session than a press release. He told his fans, "Look, I just wanted to retreat for a quick second. And keep it 100 about what has actually been going down in my life for the last few months. Between getting fitted for prom and finally graduating high school, I needed a moment to process my evolution as an artist and reflect on my personal life. Reaching this level of notoriety at such a tender age forced me to really think about the sacrifices I have made. I mean, picture walking across the graduation stage with a song sitting pretty on the Billboard charts. Fresh out of homeroom, I started looking for industry sharks to be my friends and chased clout. That is great and all, but at what cost? I wasn't spending time with my family. I neglected real friendships. I lost precious childhood moments I can never get back. I need to reconnect with the real ones in my life." Mabu announced he was ready to jump back in the booth, but with a twist, he was heading to college to find some balance. When he told his management, they looked at him like he had grown a second head. They were like, "Bro, do you realize you are not a civilian anymore? You need to dedicate every waking second to your career. You have got to take the music seriously." But Mabu was like, "Wait a minute, check the scoreboard. I applied to college and handled the music grind while rotting in high school math class. I did everything simultaneously back then. So why should I miss out on the college experience now?" Naturally, the audience assumed his fame would evaporate if he split his focus. But he proved the haters wrong, cutting tracks with heavyweights like NLE Choppa straight from his dorm room. He was dead set on proving his dedication to both the rap game and his higher education. Just imagine being his random roommate walking in on that circus. By the end of the year, quote, Mr. Take Your Girl dropped a collab with Cred Rock, where he tried to spark fake beef with the rapper Blueface, bragging about stealing his woman. The track got views, sure, but it barely scraped the bottom of the Hot 100. The massive controversy he was banking on, it flopped hard. Blueface shut it down with a single tweet. "Your scream, Adele." The numbers were there, but the vibe had shifted. The gimmicks were getting stale, and people were starting to see the rich kid behind the drill mask. Then came the crash on April 5th, 2024. He dropped an album with A-list features like Lil Baby and Young Thug. On paper, this should have been his coronation. In reality, it didn't even sniff the charts. The sales were so abysmal, they didn't even publish the numbers. Reviews were brutal, clocking in at an 11 out of 100. The top comment nailed it. "The joke is over. We get it. You are a rich white kid cosplaying a gangster." Facing the worst vocal reputation in the game and declining metrics, Mabu panicked. He doubled down on controversy, even staging a video where he pretended to get shot just to grab headlines. On June 27th, 2024, he tried to pivot into something even wilder, dropping the song Bang Bang and desperately campaigning for the XXL freshman class list. He threw a massive tantrum after getting snubbed from the annual freshman list. When the diss tracks and the music video stunts failed to land and didn't give him the viral clout he was chasing, Mabu went into hiding, ghosting the music scene for a few months. Just when you thought he was buried, he claws his way back in March 2025, latching on to Bonnie Blue. Yeah, the girl infamous for that 24-hour, 1,000-man marathon? You remember the slogan, "Community property, but allegedly her soul belongs to me." It kicked off with staged dinner dates, then spiraled into some serious degeneracy right on the sidelines of an NBA match. Maru was ready to sell his dignity just to hack the algorithm one last time. He was thirsting for clout, but the stunt backfired hard. Roll the footage. "She was just looping my laces." Seriously, she was. Fixing my shoe, bro. So, Matthew, does this mean you are banned from the arena? Yeah, totally. My courtside season is wrapped. 2 days later, trying to cash in on the mess, he dropped the single Bonnie Blue. It struggled to hit 2 million views. The crowd wasn't buying it. Even if his graphs are technically green, it is a shadow of the viral monster he was 12 months ago. If he doesn't pivot hard, he is sliding into oblivion. The whole trust fund baby playing gangster worked for a hot second, but that gimmick has expired. As soon as the novelty evaporated, Maru tried to ramp up the shock factor, but it just pushed fans away. You can't just rinse and repeat the same toxicity and expect to rule the game. Look, the kid has bars and he is a marketing wizard, no doubt. But global superstar status? Don't bet the house on it.